guys, this is Rob back for another review. This is to celebrate my 80 subscribers now. So thanks very much to everyone that's subscribed so far, and thanks to the people who have given me good feedback on my first vlog, which I was worried about boring people by waffling on, because I'm very good at doing that. But now as I know that maybe I'm not boring you, I'll try and do a bit more waffling or rambling, and I might be able to do that about this figure. So this figure is basically my dream come true, and it's the masterpiece Optimus Prime. The first one was a dream come true, and this new one is even more ticking that box. Now I've already picked up MP-10, and that was the first Transformers video I did on here. I thought I'd make a video about it because I was so excited when it was coming out, and that's a long time ago now, before I started doing reviews. And I just made a little video with some music on and a little slideshow of the photos of the product to try and advertise it a bit. So just supporting the product and all that. And I was really excited by the fact that for once they'd actually got Prime to look exactly like he looked in the cartoon, not just physically, but more importantly his head sculpt and his eye shape particularly. I find that a lot of the toys, they always seem to make Prime look quite aggressive in his eyes, and that was something that I noticed with the original Masterpiece, although I know that it wasn't actually really based on the cartoon. Apparently it was based on a comic and a bit of G1 mixed together, so I've been informed. Whether that's true, I don't know, but I always loved the way that Prime's character, to me as a kid, seemed to be a big powerful robot whose heart was in the right place. I always believed in fair play, and even though he had a big strong exterior and the faceplate, which added mystery to him, you could see behind the faceplate there was these kind, gentle looking eyes which really defined his character, and also helps with the origins of Orion Pax, as I would learn later when I bought the DVD set. And it was interesting to learn recently, because I didn't know that apparently that's basically the kind of thing Peter Cullen was going for, and based it on, I think, his brother, who was in Vietnam and was a guy who spoke with a deep voice and had seen a lot of action but was very humble. And he obviously did a good job of conveying that, because that's exactly what I got as a kid from Optimus Prime and why I really like the guy. So this really does capture that magic. Every little detail pretty much is about as close to the cartoon as you could wish for. But that head sculpt and his eyes, he really does look alive. And also the fact that this guy actually has a neck is brilliant, and that looks very primey. Even the back of the head is right. If you compare this with the animation in the movie, because the animation model did differ depending on who drew it for the series, and sometimes it wasn't so greatly drawn. But I think in the movie they'd really cracked it, and then later on it started to change a little bit. And sorry if I keep swallowing, I've got a bit of wind for some reason, and also I'm choking. I'm in Kidderminster, and you might have seen the news, there's a massive fire here, and it's still burning now, weeks later, and it's only up the road from me. And the fumes here are terrible. They're just breathing out plastic fumes, and it's been hanging in the trees everywhere. It's unbelievable. So anyway, but this, at first when I seen this version, I thought the colours looked a bit bright, and they do. But after comparing it to the cartoon, it really does look pretty close for some of it, particularly in the series. And very much reminds me of the annuals that we used to get in the 80s and 90s. The colours are really bang on for that. But likewise, MP-10, the colours are really bang on too, because really I think Prime should have a darker blue. But that said, they both look right, and both of them are equally good figures, and there isn't much difference in them. It's nice to have both, but you don't have to. Either will do. But I must say I do like the light blue eyes on this version. That said, his eyes could be drawn kind of darker blue sometimes. And on the MP-10 it does have darker blue eyes. They're clear. And I took my part to see if I could improve that. But there isn't much way of doing it really, I could see. and painting it might prove to be difficult. But I like the look of it anyhow, so I shall leave it as is. Now, this is like, for me, when I was a kid, I had the Power Master Prime, and still got it now. And I was always loving that figure because for me, like I said in the other video, I only had Transformers the movie and the Headmaster's last 3 episodes of G1. And I think I had a couple of other episodes like The Return of Optimus Prime and the, what's it called? Dark Awakening episode. I really loved all those episodes, they're amazing, but I didn't see many of the others, or I didn't have them anyway. I might have seen some of them at my mate's house. So I didn't know the whole story back then. So Power Master Prime is a bit of a mystery to me. And I can remember reading something in the comics about it. I only had a few of the comics, I didn't have many of those. So I've still got all those comics to catch up on reading. And I've been doing that on the iPhone. It's fantastic for that app. You can download the comics, brilliant. But this guy in Power Master Prime, I remember thinking the Power Master Prime looked very G1, very much like the cartoon. And I had the Ultra Magnus toy with the white Optimus Prime as I could see it, which was always a bit of a mystery to me. And I thought, well, that looks like Optimus Prime, and it transforms like Optimus Prime, but looked a little bit different with the little windows. And I didn't have the original Optimus Prime, and only found out about it later. So for me, Power Master Prime, I used to wonder, why doesn't Prime turn into this big robot as well in the show? So it's only later when I found out that it's from the Japanese continuity and Jinrai and all the rest of it. So for ages I was thinking, okay, noticing all these differences as a kid, like the blue arms and the way it transforms, and Ultra Magnus' toy, and thinking, why don't they make him like he is in the cartoon? Even back in the 80s I was thinking, he doesn't look quite right. So now we have this. It's just absolutely answered a lot of my prayers. Everything about it just looks and screams Prime. The articulation is fantastic, but then you can bend at the knee that way, which you don't really want, but you can bend that way. You get this swivel here. The arms will do a 360. They'll also come in and out and go up and down. If you wanted to, you can make the arms a bit shorter, but the twist here and bend here. The wrists rotate. The head goes up and down, left and right, but also for more expression you can slide the neck forward and backwards, which does change things a bit. You can make him look a bit like he's stunned or taken aback, or looking right up. And you can lean him forward and make it look like he's looking right down, or lunging forward a bit. And the ears have a lot of expression. It's quite amazing how much expression Prime can have. But there's something very special about this design. Of all the Transformers, I've always thought that there's something about this design, this look. It just got such a magic look. There's just something about it. You can't really put words to it. It's just absolutely iconic, would be a word. But that word's used so much, I don't think it really goes as far to say how amazing this looks, and how much it captures that magic look that Prime really has. And you think to yourself, if Transformers had picked another Diaclone toy to base the main character on, would it have worked? So if Jazz was the leader, or if they hadn't bothered with this toy, would it have looked good? Right, is it so about the primary colours of this guy, the balance of colours? But I think it's also, for me, the only thing I can get it close to is this chest shape. Because as a kid, that's what I was fascinated by, is how this truck could look like a human shape. And it got pecs and chest here, ribs perhaps, and muscles here, perhaps the abdomen. It all works out so well. And it's just something maybe you could relate to. Maybe it's because the lack of a face as well makes Prime seem neutral and somehow much more appealing, less threatening, more reserved. Maybe this is why he's so appealing. powerful, kind, fantastic looking. It's just it's going to be one of the ultimate cartoon characters and fictional characters ever, and something that draws so many to it. But this figure just has blown me away. It's absolutely fantastic, as is MP-10. And the original Masterpiece Prime, I love that too, and think that, yeah, that's definitely got a long way, but this is just incredible. It may be smaller, it may be made out of much more plastic, but I feel you can enjoy this figure more. You can pick it up and you can mess around with it and you can pose it, and you can really enjoy how much it looks like Optimus Prime should. Whereas with the older Masterpiece Prime, you couldn't really pose it too much. You're frightened of breaking it or chipping the paint because there's that much metal on it. So it's more of a statue, and an impressive one at that. And it is fun to transform, and it looks nice. But I think you'll get much more enjoyment out of this and much more value for money. I got this from Toys R Us. I actually went into the shop and seen it and didn't have quite enough money the one day. They only had one in stock. I went back the next day, and of course they'd sold it. I thought, well, £100, who's going to buy it at that price? But obviously the recession on, but it is a good price for what it is, and someone had it. And you'd think that Toys R Us, being a massive shop, would stock more of these when they're so popular. I went in there and they had loads of Grimlocks, loads of Masterpiece Rodimus as well, and they've all gone. But they had loads, yeah, more than 10 of each. But this guy, only one. Okay, so the internet is taking over shops, that's true, but that's no surprise if you can't walk into a shop and buy it. Yeah, maybe Toys R Us want to think about that one, because I actually enjoy going to a shop and buying something. It's more exciting to see it, to pick it up, to take it to the till and walk straight out of the shop with it, rather than buying it online and waiting for it to come up when you're at work and to go and collect it from the post office. If, say, Toys R Us stopped selling all these big items that people want and only stock stuff that nobody wants, maybe that might result to more of their stores closing in the future. You never know, if it carries on that way. You'd think that they would stock more than one of these. I mean, at least 5 maybe, or more at a time on a shelf. But no, one. And it's been well documented that Optimus Prime is, I think, the most I heard, or the best selling toy that's ever been made. So I don't know, I can't figure that one out. So here he is, and I'll get to the transformation in a second. I'm waffling on a bit more now, aren't I? So he comes with this little roller. This is a blue roller. I've got a spike in there. He comes there. Now I think this is interesting, not just because it's Spike and it's nice to have Spike, but this is definitely, it's got to be an homage to Diaclone drivers, which we didn't get with the G1 toys. But Diaclone is basically what's given us Transformers, right? That's where it all started, or at least as far as I'm aware. I'm not too well up on the history, but I'm aware that Diaclone is one of the first, and they were definitely the first Transformers anyway. But this must be a little tribute to the Diaclone line, which this toy, the original version, the G1 version, come from. And that's what the comic character is based on. And obviously the anime versions are a bit different. Most of the toys, well, the comics follow the design more of the toys than the animation line. So it is a nice little figure, and he can bend at the hips, bend at the knees, and doesn't go any back any further than that. The arms move up and down, and that's it. But I'm sure you can have some fun with this. It's a pity they don't do a Daniel as well, so you can stick it in Snapdragon's mouth if you've got a G1 Snapdragon. That'd be quite good fun. So, right, comes the trailer. And for Wolfgang 1, or Gerard, I don't know if you realise this watching your video, but they're really hard to get down from under there. But you have actually got these stands here, so you can stand it up like you wanted to. Whereas these don't extend any further than that. But this is a very stiff on here. Now I ain't going to be able to get these back out again, I think, very easily. This seems to be a hell of a lot more stiff to get everything apart than on the MP-10 actually. I had no trouble with that. This one I was frightened I might break it, and then once I did it once it seems to loosen up. It's got nice rubber wheels and they roll real good. Then we come to the back, we've got the doors that open up. Can get these now. There we go. See what I mean? That is stiff as hell. It's actually bending, look. Not joking, that is something. And there's these little bits that come out. Now you can get a Masterpiece side swipe in there. But also, you could fit a lot of Classics cars in there, like Classics Prow and Sideswipe and Blue Streak or Silver Streak, as you know. And they'd work quite well in that. Interestingly, if you can see the camera will let you see. Get the light in there. No. You've got those two blanking bits at the back which actually hide the computer centre at the back. Like a little hidden wall so to hide the front compartment, which is a pretty nifty idea. So I was trying to open this now because it was... No, it's free a bit now. So that splits open, just like the G1 toy. It's got this amazing sculpted detail in there, which isn't painted on this one. On the Takara one, it is painted. The only paint taps I can see are these two bits that are shiny, they're painted. Apart from that, there's nothing. I suppose if you wanted to, you could customise this and have a lot of fun painting all sorts of little bits, different colours, and really bring it to life. Maybe there's a sticker set from Repro Labels, I think, I'm not sure. So that's pretty much that, and you know, you can fit a spike into all these little places here, and this canopy opens, and all this opens up to the arms open and close. This lifts up and spins around. Little satellite dish sort of looking antenna thing. So, because in the G1 we had the firing mechanism here, that's gone, but there's two holes there. And none of this has a firing mechanism anymore. But it's definitely a nice trailer. And also you can push these bits down, which are very stiff. Listen to this a bit after the first time there. And then you can close this up if you lean that forward. And I think that's a bit of an angle. That's about right. And then you can have that sticking up there however you want, if you wanted to. Now, onto roller. Oops, daisy. Roller here has a little bit of transformation. You can open this bit, which seems to be wanting to work loose on this one, but I'll have to sort that out. Not that I'm too bothered about that. Little gas tank, and you can put Prime's gun in here. I think it is, isn't it? Which, onto Prime, this opens up. You got this, which is fantastic because in the cartoon you quite often see him reaching behind and getting his gun out. So, clips open like that. And then this you stick into here. There we go. And that looks really smart. That's like the THSO2, is it? I've got that. The trailer is good, but the figure's a bit. Yeah, it's fantastic, but too much for such a small figure. And that comes out. That rotates around. Shut that back. Well, it's actually got a lot of space in there. You could store things in there if you wanted to, perhaps, if you're that way inclined. And then this closes up. What you've got on here is an attachment to fit onto here, and that'll clip on, and if you wanted to, you can drive the trailer around with a roller. I suppose you could say that if Prime's abandoned his trailer and roller, you can take that away, because don't forget Prime, roller and the trailer form 3 parts, and each one can feel each other, and Ezra each other is. It's in one of the early episodes in the 1st or 2nd season, I think. Can't remember which one. That one where he falls off and gets blown up or something. And yeah, I won't try and remember the name or anything. So there's the gun. Very nice interpretation of the G1 gun. Although, that said, I would like it if someone could make the original Masterpieces gun for this figure, because that would be awesome, because that gun was better looking than this one, I think, if I'm honest, and much more as it was in the cartoon. And this has got the gimmick, which obviously is the reason it's like it is, and I'm very grateful for that. I like that. I think it's brilliant. It's a gimmick that works and it looks good. Can't really fault it. This for me, yeah, the axe. He only used it once apparently. I think it's in the 1st season, and they include this, and it's nice that they do. But I won't be displaying mine with the axe very often. I don't think it comes out pretty easy on this one. So there we go. That's the axe. That can fit over his fist apparently. How easy it is to do, I don't know. I've never done it before. Oh, there we go. On like that. And of course you can twist it at the wrist or here. So that's that. Onto this. He's got 3 fingers that are attached that open up in 2 places, and 1 finger that opens up that's attached in 2 places that can point. So that's the same on both hands. This can fit in here and clips in nicely, and that gives him a look like he's pointing it. Every time I do this, I can always hear that line where Megatron's asking for mercy in the movie. You are without mercy. Now plead for it. That one. He looks right for that. And you can get Sonny pose like this, it's fantastic. But you have to watch him leaning forward on his toes and leaning back. It's a bit weak though. He will balance and stay pretty fine, especially with one leg forward of the other and opened up well. He's pretty stable and he's balancing there now. But there you go, if you do that, he'll fall. As he did in the movie. Quite spectacular. Right then, onto the transformation. If you start here, most of the plastic is very good on this as well, and on the MP-10, and I don't see any stress marks or anything, which is good. I hope it doesn't go the same way as some of the Seekers and Optimus. Yeah. I had a little rant about that, didn't I, in the vlog. There we go. So, pull them down, twist these around. I'm sure you've probably seen this already anyway. Then maybe get these out the way. Shoving those up. I've already done this a few times, so what's next? We'll open these chest doors. And of course in here you get the one door that opens up, which is chrome, and underneath here, if I can get it now, probably not here. I can't actually get my fingers in there to open that, but if you open that, the matrix is in there, and it's a very nice matrix. I'll have a look in a second. It's this that's stopping me. So, yes, and then you just have to put your thumb on this and then pull back a bit. Find some low battery in a second. There we go. Pull back there, and it bends at 2 places. Which way? That's it. There we go. Put that into there and sort of support it and wiggle it down. Is that gone in yet? No, that's very tight fit, that, which is a good thing. Vertical, we don't break anything else up here. Twist that right round. Right then. Now we've got to move these down carefully, so it's best if the arms are up like that. Let's ease it carefully past here. And then we'll do the same with this one. So the paint finish on this is really well done, really accurately applied, which is nice to see. So now these twist, oops, to make sure that's clear of that bit there. Yeah, they fit into there like that. You've got to make sure you get that lined up quite well. Then you want to twist, yeah, this way around, I think. Oh, watch you don't catch it on this. I wouldn't recommend rushing this in case you force something until you know what you're doing. So that goes for all Transformers. Yeah. So if I'm not getting this all on camera, I'm still pretty new to this figure, so pardon me. Yeah, now you want to lift up this piece. God, I might sound like something else then. I'm not sure if you lift up both. No, I can't get this open. Just keep trying it. Come on. No, it doesn't want to come. I have had it open once or twice, but it doesn't want to play ball now. You don't want to let that matrix go. I'm sure you've seen it before anyway, so that matrix is in there. Nice and secure, as you can see. You ain't going to let anyone get it, so Thunderwing ain't got to look in if he's going to be a masterpiece. So. Right then, and now the head just folds into there, okay? Make sure that's all nice and lined up. Now, I think next up, yeah, let's carefully shove these in here and bring the... actually, cock something up. I have to take all this back out now. Sorry, all that just for this little piece here. There we go. Start again. No. I'm sorry about this, I'm making a right hash of this. I've got to open that matrix compartment to get this to open up. So let's close up. Jesus, just broke a nail there in that. Sorry about this, right disaster. So there's the matrix in there, and yes, you can get it out, but after all the fumbling around, it can stay there for now. So now we can close that up. I've done this before, honest. Just making a right hash of it. So now, carefully get those to collapse into there, and you've got some notches to sort of lift it up underneath the top part of the torso. And then she'll do the same on this side. So make sure you... Oh god. There we go, it's starting to come together now. It isn't a hard transformation, it's a nice transformation to do, but it's hard to do on camera like this, because it is quite involved and fiddly, and just require that you look at what you're doing, as you can see. So that's the head in there, and then we can shut these up, and we're getting there now. So lift this up, and this up, and then the lights fold over, secure it, lift at the bumper, clip all those pieces in, and they will go in nice and tight. Sometimes it can be a bit troublesome getting them out, but as you can see, it's a beautiful cab section there. Now onto the legs. You want to squeeze this button in and slide up. Same this side. tucked in nice and firm. It reduces the height quite a bit. Fold these up and then move up these gas tanks on like a little hinge. And then these bits on the side which cover the wheels, brilliant. That was something else as a kid. I always wished that you could cover the wheels, and I guess I just wanted it to look how it was in the cartoon. Fold those over. Sorry, I don't know if you've seen that, but there's that one. Clip all that together, and these sort of lock into the side of the hips. And these are to really work hard to get everything to squeeze together now. And yeah, that's the cab, which is absolutely gorgeous. Not got it lined up properly there. Bear with me, people. Okay, it can line up, and I have to fiddle around with it, but that can line up better than that usually. It's just me. So, but that is absolutely fabulous. That really does look exactly like you want it to. I should point out these smokestacks do move up and down as well. I'm going to leave mine up and don't know where I'm out, but that is just beautiful. And for me, the best. This is Optimus Prime. The one and only. That's what I grew up with and love. And if I ever seen a truck like that going down the road, I would be very excited still. But never seen one. And he's based on quite an old-fashioned truck design. I think it's like a but it looks, is it 1930s originally? But he's been modernised quite a bit as well. But that really does also scream Power Master Prime to me. And God, I would love it if they would do the same scale as this, the smaller part of the Power Master Prime with the blue arms and the way he transformed differently, and then make the legs fold up just the same as the G1 toy, but with more articulation and a bit better transformation perhaps. And the trailer turns the big robot on the base. That would be absolutely fantastic, and I would hope to God that Hasbro and Takara do a masterpiece, Power Master Prime. That would just be brilliant, especially if it was in scale with this. To have those two together would be really something else. That would be brilliant. Further to that, I also really hope that they do another sleep mode version of Prime. Exactly the same as they did the Takara one, but with this mould. So then you really would have an interesting figure, and he'd look right for the movie with having the right sculpt and the right head shape and everything else. But also, you know, I think with the Sleep Mode Prime, you should also remember that he could equally be the Dark Awakening Prime, which you have to think of it as being dead. Just zombie Prime. Which is pretty cool, I think. Now, I don't know what else to say now, really. Size comparisons, perhaps. Here's another one for you, the Titanium Magnus. So you get an idea of how big this is, or how small it is. And another one is a Springer from Generations line, extra exclusive. So it's not transformed, but there he is, a roller. So, and for something a bit more common, an iPhone case. So there you go. That's how big his legs are, about the size of an iPhone case. So there you go. Obviously, I'm recommending you pick this up. So if you haven't got this figure, do go out and get it if you really like your Optimus Prime. Don't sit on the fence about it, because you know what will happen before too long. They'll become scarce and you'll be paying much more than $99.99, which is what Toys R Us are selling it at, which is a damn good price if you ask me. and considering that the MP-4 with the trailer was like 350 quid or something stupid, like it goes for about 350 quid anyway. Yeah, definitely snatch it up while you can. So there you go. One more thing, that's it. The box. Beautiful box. Comes in this big case here, which I hope you can see alright. There's the end of it. And there you go. The bottom of it there. So, dropping it now. So that was that review, and I hope you enjoyed that. So it was a bit slapdash, or if I've waffled too much, or if I've missed anything even. It's my second masterpiece figure, and they are quite a challenge to review, especially these ones with trailers. So thanks to all the subscribers, and one more thing, I suppose it'd be very nice also if they did this mould with the trailer that turned into, you know, Ultra Magnus as the G1 toy. I mean, looking at the titanium figure, they have proven that they can do a good Ultra Magnus potentially, and this ain't too bad. I've improved mine by swapping these thigh pieces around by doing the 2 screws, and now his legs can bend the right way, which increases the posability no end. But I'll say that for another review. And I quite like this. He's good, especially as you can make him fall to bits like in the movie. So that's pretty fun. But thanks very much for subscribing, and if there's any comments you want to make, feel free to make them, or ask any questions or anything like that, go ahead. And thanks very much for all the support so far, it's appreciated. Cheers guys, thanks a lot. Just a few more things as well before I close the video off. It's also got these little mirrors that open up, which is really cool. So you can, there is like blue plastic behind there for the window, so you can have those shut or open as you wish. And trying to think, is there anything else I've missed off this? Oh yeah, that's what I've missed. Showing you the trailer. So if we take the trailer back, and just put this back in. I was rushing through the video, I'm getting concerned about the battery. So, can't really show you this with it rolling, but this will clip into the 2 holes, like 2 lines, and that will clip into here, hopefully. Quite tricky to get on, but once it's on, and that's a nice secure connection. Now that is what we're talking about. That is absolutely bloody brilliant. Look at these lights in the back too. That's clear red plastic. And I'm sure everybody would love to drive one of these after they pass their driving test. I know I wouldn't mind having a go. That just looks absolutely incredible. Of course, if it's going to be absolutely show accurate, it should just be like a grey band with the Autobot logo a bit further to the left. But that really would be nitpicking, and the silver stripe shouldn't really be there for all the episodes. But it looks better like this, if you ask me. This is how we all see it in our minds, I should think. And interestingly, I've noticed this though. Just take that off there. All these little holes around here remind me very much for some reason of the G2 release with the sound unit that went in the front. So I wonder if that's going to be utilised at some point in the future, and whether they're thinking of doing a G2 Optimus Prime. Don't know. I'm not sure there'll be that much of a market for it perhaps, but you never know, do you? So there isn't much difference between them. But who knows what recolours this might get now. Nemesis Prime's come out. And if they'll do a shattered glass one, then perfect. I don't know if that was an official thing, I don't know much about shattered glass, but either way, they look pretty cool like that, the eye gear version. So, however, if you can get over this, I don't think you'd really need or want anything else. This is just superb, absolutely brilliant. So, again, I think I'll end the video here. That was a bit of a mess there where I was fumbling around with it. I've transformed it quite a few times, but as usual it would go wrong on camera, wouldn't it? So I got there in the end, but that's all part of the fun. So certainly a lot more in depth than a lot of the G1 Transformers, but still relatively the same transformation. So in many regards, especially as regards the arms forming the cab section. But I just can't stop looking at this. They just look at that. It's just absolutely phenomenal. It really is. And the way that chrome shines is just blooming awesome. But you really can see it looks a lot like the Power Master Prime Cab. If you compare it to the G1 toy, I haven't got its hand at the moment, but I can just see the legs folding up and then they slide into the big body. And that, if you could imagine it, with the arms out here. Come on, Hasbro, do it. You don't make sense. Power Master Prime was a very popular toy, so back in the day, I can remember lots of us had it. But I've still got mine displayed. I'll have to do a review on that soon. So at some point in the future, I might do a comparison video between this and MP-10 and MP-4. Maybe get out all the Masterpiece Primes I've got, and Power Master Prime and what's it called, Star Convoy, and compare them all. Be interesting to see them all together. So anyway, thank you very much guys. If you like what I'm doing, please subscribe, and yeah.